Hi everybody, this is Lynn from Creative Concept Crafts with this week's release, and it's our fabulous Penny Slider Easel card. There's four bugs in the collection. We have our beautiful butterfly, which slides around and down. We have our bee, our ladybug, and the card I'm going to be completing today, which is the dragonfly, along of course with matching envelope boxes for the whole collection. I've already cut out all the component parts. We have some decoration pieces. This is our base card, which I've gone all the way around the outside on the scoreboard. I've done the two folds for the easel. Make sure particularly that centre one lies the easel flat at that point. I've already matted and layered the base part with the dragonflies on, and I've done a little bit of glittering. The other piece I haven't matted because we need to put together the slider mechanism there, so I'll talk you through that in a couple of minutes time. We have all our little added pieces. I've already matted and layered the little dragonflies, which can be added on. I didn't on this particular card, but you could add them to the base part over the top of the dragonflies that are already there. Plus we've got some clouds and the sun and some grass. So I'm going to start off by matting up the mat 1 and 2 onto the base part of the card. So that's a simple mat and layer exercise for you there. The beveled edge means you can line everything up so accurately, which is why I use it on every card I ever do. Anything that's got a straight edge, even on some curves, I'll use it as well. So make sure that's well and truly burnished down. And we have our easel stop, to which I've added foam tape to both pieces. There's a piece in between the two there. I'm just going to remove the backing tape and add that to the centre between the two dragonflies. So we've got little sentiments on all of these, which if you wanted to change, you could do if you wanted just a happy birthday or thinking of you or whatever. You can change the text that's in there. This is our slider mechanism, and I've started to add some double-sided foam tape, but I just wanted to share a tip that I picked up watching another YouTube video. I've added some foam tape to some greaseproof paper, greaseproof parchment paper, whatever you want to call it, and I've added the strip down. Now from here we can cut these so much easier than trying to cut it from a roll. So I'm cutting this to just about 3 or 4 mil thick. Out of that piece I'm going to get 4 pieces, 4 little strips. So I've just speeded it up. So that's 1 piece of the tape, and I've managed to get 4 strips, 4 long strips. So I'm going to add this all the way around the outside part of the rectangle. And I'm leaving about 1 mil from the top, just so that it doesn't show on the right side. So I'm just going to cut this as we go. And it also makes it easier to remove the tape when you've got that parchment backer. So that's the 2 sides. I've already done one of the sides, and I'm going to leave the little bit and use that in the middle. So I'm going to take another of the longer strips so that we get all in one piece. You can join it if you want to, but I just think it's easier if you can just join it all in one strip. It just keeps it straight as you go. So that's all the outer layer completed. You can see I've already added 1 little strip there. Notice the distance from the slider area. Just adding a slightly longer bit above it. And now I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side of the slider. The slider mechanism is going to be made up of 2 acetate pieces with foam tape between them. And they're 1-inch circles that are going to be running through the middle. So once I show you, it's difficult to see acetate at the best of times, but they are there, it is there. That little acetate strip is going to run all the way round the cutout piece. So what you're trying to do is make sure that there's no foam tape in the way, which is why I've left the distance at the curved central parts. Now, to stop the glue from sticking on your slider, if you have an anti-static bag, just run it all the way around the outsides. I actually made my own from some talc and an old foot sock made of, you know, the tights foot socks that you can get, and I've just filled it with talc. So run all the edges, all the 4 edges of anything that's going to come near the slider, and get rid of the talc, so don't worry about that, just blow it away. So that's now ready to add to our base card. Don't be frightened of adding that the anti-static bag to all those sections either. The more you can get on there, the better, and the easier this is going to run. So I'm just removing the 4 central pieces of the foam backer, and then I'm going to remove half around the other 4 sides. I do exactly the same if I'm doing a mat and layer, or if I'm adding acetate to a box. I will repeat exactly the same thing, just removing half of the tape back and then add it to the card. It just gives you that little bit of wiggle room in case it's not just into position. I'm following all that beveled edge, and then you can remove the tape once you've got it into position and just burnish it down a little bit. Okay, so that's the slider mechanism completed. Now we need the piece that's going to run. So it's 2 acetate circles, 3 tiny little pieces of foam tape, which I'm going to stack one on top of the other, and it's about 3 to 4 mil, no more. So they're only tiny pieces that are going to go into the centre of those 2 acetate pieces. So I'm going to cut 3 pieces the same size, removing the backing pieces as we go, which I didn't do, and you will see. I've got to stop and remove them. So you need to remove them from both sides, not just one side, which is what I tried to do. So we can add one on top of the other. If you look, I didn't remove the top piece. Tried to stick that down, and of course it doesn't work. They're rather fiddly to try and add as well. There we go. Now we're removing it. So we'll end up with 3 layers. One on top of the other. And at this stage, I'm going to repeat the bag round all the sides. So don't be frightened of getting enough in there to stop that glue from sticking to your mechanism. So I'm now going to remove the last piece of tape back. I'm just adding a tiny little bit of hot glue. I never trust ready glued things. I always think, and especially for a moving mechanism, just add a tiny little bit. And I've missed another piece of tape there. So I'll just be adding that down again. 3 pieces, there's 2 on each piece. if you forget to remove one, which I did. Now we can add the hot glue to the last piece. And then add that to the second acetate circle. This always reminds me of a spool that you'd use in a sewing machine, the bobbin. Okay, to add this to our card, just getting rid of a little bit of the debris there from the talc. And so go to one of the wide parts. You're adding half, so half of the spool underneath and half on top. You can lift that quite easily, and that should now run quite comfortably from one end to the other. Okay, if it's not running smoothly at this stage, get your anti-static bag inside of that runner. So don't be frightened to get inside there and get that well and truly cleared, so that that's going to run nice and smooth. The talc's not a problem. You can get rid, blow it away, or use a paintbrush to get rid of any excess. Now got glue everywhere as well. Oh, the joys of crafting. Okay, so now we're ready to start to decorate. I'm going to start off with the dragonfly, and I'm just going to mat and layer. So just the body part and the tail. The head, the body and the tail. And I'm just going to add it to our mat at the bottom. I've already done the glittering on the wings, but I've kept it the same colour so it doesn't show up that well on the video, but you'll see it in the photographs probably at the end. I'm curling all the parts upwards away from the mechanism. So again, clearing the space for that to run nice and smoothly. Just making sure that's burnished. The glue on the body and the tail. And then we're just going to add a little dot of hot glue into the body section, just below the head. And we can add, it's just to cover up the foam tape. It won't completely cover the acetate circle, but you won't see it. There we go, spinning and moving up and down. Okay, aren't they so cute? I rather did it in sort of a shape that I thought that a lot of the insects fly. So I'm just now going to mat up the decor pieces. Don't add foam tape or anything that's going to stick up here, by the way. It will get in the way of the mechanism. So make sure everything's flattened down, and that's our mechanism completed, ready to add to our card. You've got a matte layer from the base to the purple. So I'm just lining that up, and then I can turn over and just put a pencil mark on the purple where we need to add glue to the base part. So I'm just going to add the wet glue to the section that I've just marked, and again the beveled edge and mat and layer, and pop that in position. Like I said, you could add those little dragonflies if you wanted to the piece at the bottom, the base layer, because that's not going to impede any movement, and it will just give another little bit of dimension. I haven't added them on here, but they could easily be. So there's our cute little dragonfly easel card, matching envelope box, our great little bee. Have a beautiful day. Just the dragonfly just buzzing in to say hi. We have our great butterfly or angel's wings. And the final one in this collection is our ladybug. And I've done a couple of them in the clouds, a couple of them with with the grass. So the scenery coming in again on this collection. Hope you enjoy it. Until the next time, bye for now.